Welcome to the Shulamite Podcast, an extension of Shulamite Ministries and Shulamite.com, with weekly interviews and teaching with author and speaker Martha Kilpatrick and hosted by John Enslow. This weekly podcast is a way to stay connected to the ministry. So come experience anointed messages, not giving just another method, but a living impartation.
Jennifer, this perspective of God's revenge is overwhelming. It even puts, for me, and I'm just glimpsing this, I don't even really fully understand what I'm saying, but it puts God's absolute sovereignty, it crystallizes God's sovereignty even more, and it makes it just puts it in a whole nother perspective and a whole nother dimension of God's love. I don't know whether I'm saying this well, but his love is behind everything.
Jennifer just said off the mic that his wrath was love, and now she's learning his vengeance is love. And I wanted that to be on take, goes with what you're saying, Carol.
Yes, and so God's sovereignty, everything being in order, everything that we call wrong, that we call out of order, everything is settled in God's absolute sovereignty, because under that, around that, inside that is God's love. He is moving everything toward his purpose of everything. In Ephesians 1, starting with verse 9, this is the New Living Translation. God has now revealed to us his mysterious plan regarding Christ, a plan to fulfill his own good pleasure. And this is the plan. At the right time, he will bring everything together under the authority of Christ, everything in heaven and on earth. Furthermore, because we are united with Christ, we have received an inheritance from God, for he chose us in advance, and he makes everything work out according to his plan. That is God's absolute sovereignty, and behind everything that he does is love. The love of God bringing the world together under Christ.
It's all love. The solution to everything is love. The reason for everything is love. Behind everything is love. For everything is love. And that is mind-boggling, because hate is so rampant in us, humanity, and in the world.
And perfect love casts out all fear. I believe he's bringing us to that. Seeing his perfect love that casts out every thread of fear. He's opening our eyes to see him, and behind everything is that love.
Everything that comes to attack us, some hurtful words, some lie, some hate that comes to attack, is meant to kill the hate in us. Jeez. That's the cross. The cross is to die to hate and to be able to live and love, to die so you can live in love no matter what. That's what the cross is. It comes to kill. What we're dying to is hate. Hate of self, hate of God, hate of man, hate of the world. That's what he's killing. That's what the cross comes to annihilate. The cross murdered hate. Jesus' cross murdered hate forever. And we can't follow him and hate. I know that one. I know that one. It's not possible to have. He is love, and he will not tolerate hate, either of self our circumstances, our life, our people, or the world. The only thing we can hate is evil. That's it. But that's when you deny yourself. You deny yourself your rights to hate and to have vengeance and to want vengeance. That's what you're dying to, Jennifer. You're dying to.
I'm dying to vengeance as hate, and he's giving me vengeance as love. That's the deal. It was hate that was motivating my lust for vengeance, because it wasn't even a desire. Let's be clear. It was a lust. I wanted it with everything in me. And it was hate that was the root of that. And I'm dying to that, and he is utterly replacing that and showing me vengeance as love, which is something completely different. It's just shocking.
That's the explanation of all of life, of all suffering. Will you hate God because you suffer? That was the wife's temptation to Job. Hate him. Go on and hate him.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Hate him.
And you have to refuse to hate him for what he lets you go through. And you have to love him for it. And only the life of Jesus can do that. And the cross, the way to respond is to surrender. That's the way you get to it. Surrender. Had an experience recently, but didn't feel well, and I was in despair a bit. And I turned my head around and said, I surrender. And in a few minutes, I turned my head the other way, and I was a completely different person. And I went, what happened? Now I have God, I have Christ, I have revelation. He said, you were surrendered. Meaning I died. And he came in.
We hope you've enjoyed the Shulamite podcast. For all the latest from Shulamite Ministries, please visit us at Shulamite.com, where you'll find Martha's daily devotions, posts from GetAlongWithGod.com, and the online library of all of Martha's writings. At Shulamite.com, downloading the free Shulamite app is easy, and LivingChristianBooks.com is only a click away. Thank you for joining us on this journey to discover a God worth knowing.